say it's petty, but that's fine. That's just my opinion. Legal has instructed us that just to get started, it'd be $100,000 cost to the district to vote for his misbehavior that was witnessed by 3 people. So what I'm going to ask for is I'm going to ask that this item be tabled until the November meeting. I want to edit policy chapter 12 that was revised in October 2024, which Mr. Smiley asked for so he could sanction Mr. Davis. This was all put together as a package. He asked for a change in the policy, and then he brought action against Mr. Davis. Let's change that policy back to what it was prior to October 2024, and then there won't be anything to sanction Mr. Smiley over. So I would request that this come back in November as the last item on the agenda, after a revision of our board policy is done, for the purpose of saving the district $100,000.
So you want to remove the censure policy?
I want to bring the censure back, November meeting, last item, and I also would like to have a revision of board policy chapter 12 that was changed in October 2024 back to its original language so there's no violation, to save the district the $100,000 minimum cost out of your pocket.
Just to clarify, the estimation is that a resulting litigation would likely exceed $100,000. There wasn't any instruction that it would be a minimum of $100,000. So that's a rough estimate.
That was what you told me.
Yes, and it's in the staff report. Likely exceed $100,000 to deal with the litigation such as that. So,
Would that be fair to Mr. Smiley?
we just need a consensus.
I have something to say. So, having witnessed said actions, I'm going to say that Mr. Smiley is incorrect, that his actions did violate the policy which he voted for to change in the board handbook. With that said, I think that unfortunately people are not able to admit when they've done something wrong. They're not able to apologize, take their lumps, and move forward. It's always, I'm going to threaten to sue you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, that's not how we work. You know, we try to keep up some form of decorum, even though we may not all share the same views. That doesn't mean that board members can treat each other a certain way. I was witness to it, and I can say that the actions of Mr. Smiley were not appropriate or out of decorum for the situation at hand. He may not have been the only one that was not within the realm of decorum. He wasn't. But that doesn't mean that his actions were appropriate or right. So, with that said, we can't sit here and say that one person was wrong and one person was right. They weren't. Both parties were out of line. And instead of just accepting that and moving along, as he did with Mr. Davis took his lumps, he got censured, and he stayed on the board and moved along. Mr. Smiley's not willing to do that. So, I don't feel that $100,000+ lawsuit is really in the interest of the public. I think that's asinine, and I think it's rude and contemptible for him to even insinuate that he would take $100,000 of your public money. So with that said, I rescind my complaint against Mr. Smiley. My complaint is out and does not exist any longer. Rescind my complaint. And Mr. Green would like to make a motion to that effect. We have to have public comment first. We'll certainly address that. Is there public comment on this item? I'm sorry, is there any more comment from the board? Any more comment from the board? No. Do we have public comment?
I do have one written public comment.
Okay, let's hear the public comment.
Is there no in-person comment?
Is there any in-person public comment? There is not.
So this is in regard to the censure of Ron Smiley. It says, hello, I would like my comment read aloud. Board member Rod Smiley is a man of integrity and should not be censured. He is a friend of first responders and ally to San Miguel. Rod has been involved in several nonprofits that generously donate their time to serving San Miguel. I wish Rod talked about it. There is no evidence of Rod doing anything against John Green, but John Green is on video shouting and getting in Rod's face. The board was told it would cost San Miguel $100,000 to censure Rod. Yet John Green refused to spend the $100,000 to fix the terrible water pressure on the terrace and killed any forward movement on that project at the December 2024 meeting.
Never give up.
It is in the minutes. Use our taxpayer money to fix our town, not on made-up nonsense. Vote no on censure. I want the board to retract the false statement. Director Smiley falsely accused Director Green of intimidation because Director Green faces Director Smiley when Director Smiley is speaking. Quote, the picture and video below speak for themselves. I want to use the rest of my time for this video. He has a timestamp from a video. We're not able to play a video, but it is a video of our meeting from 2020 hours to 21:15 hours of that video.
Just to clarify for the public, the incident took place in closed session, so there is no video.
Just reading what was in there.
I would like to say that the incident he's pointing to was on film when Green was sitting here and turned to me and yelled in my face. That's what they're referring to.
I understand. But
Okay, so not closed. Yeah, the one you're talking about for your censure is in closed session. And I completely disagree with your, well, then.
Do you recall when you sanctioned Director Davis?
We're in public comment, aren't we?
We had public comment.
So we can go back to the board now?
Back to the board, yeah. We asked for a public comment. Nobody had any. The written comment was the only.
If you have public comment, he just read a letter, that's in closed session.
Doesn't close.
Please, before we order comment.
Yes.
This is done.
Yeah,
Want to solve this problem, get rid of the attorneys. We can't do that. They're the ones charging $100,000.
Yeah, it was disrespectful behavior in closed session. There were 3 witnesses here. There was actually 4. I don't remember you. I think Director Beatty, I'm sorry to look down there, but.
No, I left prior.
You had just left because of a medical issue or something. It's unfortunate, but nevertheless, it did take place. And again, I would like to make a motion, if you haven't already got it written down after I saying it twice.
We have it, we just need a consensus from the
I would
board.
like to make a motion as stated previously.
So a motion to table this till November 20th. And with a change to the end of the November 20th meeting to provide for a change in the policy back to what it was.
I would like this item last so that we can pass, so we can consider passing a revision of the chapter that was revised at Mr. Smiley's request so that he could censure Mr. Davis. He changed policy so he could do it.
So we have a second.
Change the policy back to what it was, and then there's no violation on his part.
Second.
We have a second by Director Sangster.
Roll call vote. Director Davis?
Yes.
Director Beatty?
And I don't want to go off subject.
Director Green?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Director Smiley?
Abstain.
And Director Sangster?
Yes.
Passes 3-0, 2 abstaining, 0 abstentions.
Smiley doesn't abstain, Smiley's conflicted out from that.
Oh, okay, so
Kelly, if you're able,
we got 3-0.
that closes this meeting. Would you please tell the public that I've never voted on the pump on the terrace? It was already in the works before I got on this board. And I keep getting blamed for I didn't like the idea when I heard it until I was told you guys were going to pay all the expenses for any damage that it did to anybody's homes. but make it clear that I never voted on that. Would you? Because I'm really tired of hearing about it.
Moving on. Item number
I've always been at my office at any time. anybody
Bring it
wants-
next meeting.
Discussion on the residency status of Director Davis.
And I'm getting there. Directors Smiley and Beatty requested to discuss the residency status of Director Davis in relation to his eligibility to serve as a board member for the district. So the recommendation is that either Director Smiley or Director Beatty clarify what their concern is with his residency status, that the board allow Director Davis to comment, take public comment, and then discuss and ask legal whatever questions you need to clarify this issue.
Come up? Yes. Okay. I go by Director Davis's house daily, 3 or 4 times. It's not living there anymore. I have a picture of his residence in Monterey County. He's living on a ranch there. Part of his employment agreement is, in order to work on that ranch, is that he must live there, and that must be his residence. I have a picture of the driveway to his residence. I also have the street address, but I'm not going to give you that. It's in Monterey County. The owner, or what do I want to say, the persons in charge of the estate there, Lauren Schaefer Nichols, is the trustee of the Nichols Family Trust. He owns the ranch and pays Owen's salary, and part of his pay package is that he must live on the ranch. So I maintain that he does not live here in San Miguel, and he should not be making decisions for the community.
All right, my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Number one, you don't know what you're talking about, Director Smiley. I do work in Monterey County. It's about a 40-mile drive one way. And I do spend maybe 2 or 3 nights a week out there, but the rest of the time is spent out in my residence here, you know. And I might remind, you know, if he didn't see a vehicle there or anything, I drive that vehicle to and from work, and if he's nosy enough to drive by my house and see if I'm there or not, that's too bad, because I'm there. I meet constituents all the time during the week and so on, and I'm here probably at least four nights a week, and then 5 days and so on. But I mean, to me, it's another childish thing, you know. I mean, it's a freaking waste of time. And also, I'm sure in this town, we have long haul truckers that live in this town. They may be gone a week or 2. Now, does that make them ineligible? They have a house, they pay their taxes, pay their water bill, pay all their bills, and so on. And to have someone say, you don't reside in that house, you know, that's just a bunch of BS.
So if I can just clarify the residency requirements when it comes to elected officials in California, there are, but they're loose. As far as you have an intention to permanently reside at your residence, it does not matter how many days a week you stay there, it's your permanent residence.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to eject someone from an elected position based on residency status. You could be there 1 night a week, and as long as you intend that to be your permanent residence,
Yeah.
that's your permanent residence. You're a registered voter here, you have utility bills here. just from a legal perspective, I haven't seen any kind of employment agreement that requires that your permanent residence be anywhere other than San Miguel, but I still don't know if that would cross the line into being appropriate for an ejection from your elected position, and even so, if there was any desire by this board to ever remove you from your position in that manner, it would take a quo warranto through the Attorney General's office, which is an incredibly expensive endeavor, and the Attorney General is reticent to remove people from elected positions due to residency status.
I don't know what Director Smiley's problem is, but to me, that's, yeah.
Well, I've been to Director Davis's house 3 or 4 times in the past 30 days. He's been there. Every time I've been there, I've been gone when he's never been at his home. Director Davis, do you own the house that you reside in the same area?
Yeah.
Do you have utility bills?
I have utility bills,
Do you pay property taxes?
I pay property taxes,
Do you sleep there?
I sleep there.
I think you live there.
How many politicians in Washington have homes that live all over the country?
United States,
Huh? This is such a waste of time.
I don't have any other.
I invite everybody to drive past Owen's house tonight. I'll bet you see his.
Yeah, be sure to show up.
Is there any other?
It sounds like stalking to me. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah, and he knows where I work.
I drive down that street to my residence, past his
Sounds like
house
stalking.
every day. I don't go down the street. This is on the corner. It's just there on the way when I go to my home. That's all.
You have
I'm not
binoculars in your
stalking.
car, too?
Okay. Is there any public comment on this item? No. Good. Do you need any direction from?
Unless the board or someone wants to make a motion to do something, this is a
Council, I have a
I make a motion to take no action.
I have a copy of this agreement.
So we have a motion to take no action.
That's not. Okay.
So no, we don't need any further direction if the board doesn't wish to take this any further.
No action necessary. In my mind.
Mine either.
Okay.
There's 3.
Move on to item number 6, discussion on septic receiving at the Machado wastewater treatment facility.
So this item was originally asked for at the May meeting and has been pushed along for several months. So this item was requested by Director Davis and Director Green to discuss septic receiving at Machado wastewater treatment facility. So currently, as of right now, we are not accepting septic waste. However, we do generally accept septic waste from residential septic systems from all over. Those are brought through approved haulers that have proper licensing from the state and county to haul septic waste. We don't take anything but residential septic. So there's no porta potty waste, there's no industrial waste, no commercial waste. That material is brought and accepted on a basis of availability. If we don't have capacity for that, or we're nearing capacity, then they get turned away. They have to ask for permission before they can show up. So there's ample opportunity to turn them off, or turn them to some other plant.
Which is where?
The next closest plant is Santa Maria. Other than that, there's several in Monterey County. So we do charge for that. A couple months ago, the board increased the charge from 11 cents per gallon to 15 cents per gallon to help offset future capital costs and to ensure we're receiving enough for operational costs. The samples the loads are sampled at random. Not every load is sampled. Any suspect load is either sampled or returned. But we do get enough samples to have a good baseline of what the material is that's being brought to make sure it's compatible with our treatment plant and to help identify if something were to happen, to identify where that issue arose from.
sorry, with, we're not currently accepting? Yeah, that was your first line. Did I misunderstand?
So right now, we are not accepting septic because of the issue we're having with percolation at the treatment plant,
Okay.
which is a separate issue. It's not stemming from accepting it, but in order to limit the amount of influence that we have, we're not accepting.
Okay. Is it possible to accept from this community?
We can.
Well, this is what I'm thinking about. There's 76 or 78 homes on the terrace that are on septic systems. And if North County Septic or whoever has to drive to Santa Maria, that's likely going to double
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
the
it's right.
price of one of our local residents having to have their system. So can we make an exception to accept local waste during this period of time?
During this period of time, we're only accepting it on an emergency basis. And that's a decision from me. If somebody has an emergency, whether they're here or Cascadero, Paso, whatever, and the company can't take it anywhere else, then they can contact me and we may be able to work something out. But it depends on what our plant's doing. The health of our plant is more
Right.
important than where they're at.
Well, that kind of answered half of my question.
So, I mean, I can make an exception if they say, hey, I got this person that's a block away from your plant, you know, can I bring it there?
Yeah.
Then that is possible.
But is it probable? Would you do that for the people in this community?
We have a good rapport with the haulers that bring to us. I imagine that if they had something here in town, they would say, hey, I'm going to be in San Miguel, can I bring it there?
Okay. That's nice. Thank you.
Okay, I got a question. I seen that in the email, and I was down there today, and I see all 3 purchase ponds have water in them. And even the one that we paid Liburg $140,000 to redo, that was not perking either.
So the issue that we're having there is deeper than what the work that we did was.
Yeah.
That's a different topic. I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you.
Well,
That's
no, it
not
isn't.
really related to whether we're.
It isn't a different topic. It has to do with those perk ponds down there, and that has to do with dumping waste from basically all over in there. And then also, that number 1 pond, it has water in it today, and before, you were dumping solids in there, right on top.
So where are you going with this?
Well, I want to know some answers. I want to know why you were, one thing, why you were dumping solid waste in that number 1 pond, and then you said the number 2 pond that you had redone would take care of everything. So now, apparently you pulled that solid waste out of there. I don't know what you, out of number 1. And number 1's got water in it, and number 2's got water in it, and number 3's got water in it.
So,
Are we pumping more water over into those ponds, those perk ponds, or what?
so to be clear, what you're calling pond number 1 is actually a drying bed. It's a
So what
sludge
did you dry
drying,
today?
it's a sludge drying bed.
Yeah,
It had dried sludge in it, which was removed last month.
yeah.
And we are pumping water over there to ensure that during this time when it's raining, that we have enough capacity in the percolation ponds so that they don't overflow. The work we did in the second or middle percolation pond, although it did improve our situation, it didn't solve the problem because the problem is actually much deeper than we mitigated. We didn't know that at the time. It's obviously more evident now. But over the last week, the issue with percolation ponds not percolating has dramatically changed. And we are actively working on figuring out what that problem is so we can fix it. The acceptance of septage, other than accepting a volume, doesn't have really any effect on the percolation beds themselves. Which is why we're not accepting septage right now, out of abundance of caution, to make sure that we have that extra capacity to service the town. The water that's being put into the drawing bed, again, is as an emergency precaution to make sure that we don't have a spill into the river, which would be much, much worse. Everything that we're doing right now has been communicated to the Regional Water Board, and everything that we're doing going forward is being relayed to them, working with them to make sure that any sort of action that we take is going to be in alignment with their decision. Yes, sir.
So public comment. Okay.
Is there any public comment at this item? Yes.
Are we in an emergency situation at the pond right now? At the plant? Is the plant in an emergency
Mr. Gregory,
status?
can you state your name, please?
Gregory G. Campbell.
Thank you, and then proceed.
Is the plant in an emergency situation right now?
Is that the totality of your comment?
Well, I'm asking, I need a yes or no, and then I can ask a further question.
Well, we can't have a back and forth.
I understand, that's the problem here. So if a board member would please ask that, unless you guys know, is our plant in jeopardy of being in violation of something right now, or not being able to process our sewage?
I don't know.
So the treatment process is not in jeopardy. There's no imminent danger to the treatment process itself. The process that has been impacted is the percolation ponds, which are the end of the process after it's already been treated.
Thank you.
That's not really an answer, but
So the answer is no.
Perfect.
We're not in that kind of emergency.
Okay. Understood.
Why do you, I mean, we haven't had any rain. Why do you think all of a sudden we were using one per pond, and then all of a sudden now we've got 3 of them that are full?
So there's a phenomenon called mounding, which is a condition where basically the subsoil has absorbed as much water as it's going to and creates essentially a water bubble under the area that we're on. So normally, and for the better part of 20 years, we enjoyed really active percolation where the ponds would drain within a couple weeks. They could be totally full and they would drain within a couple weeks. Now we're not seeing that. Mounding can come on suddenly, it can come on over decades. We are going to be doing some work on our work next week to try to hopefully narrow down either the extent of the mounding or to identify whether mounding is the problem. The issue becomes once all 3 of those ponds stopped pretty much at the same time, there's something farther down going on. It's not something that we necessarily did. It's not something that we could have necessarily mitigated. The way the plant was designed, there's not a lot of monitoring wells to have a great concept of how the water table works underneath the treatment plant. We know a lot more than we did before we started the treatment plant expansion because of all the additional work that we've done. But it's something that we have to investigate further. But the theory right now is that the mounding going on underneath the treatment plant has basically filled up the space. There's no longer space for that water to percolate into, and it's being held there. It is still going down, it's just going down at a much, much, much slower rate.
Well, don't, because I know, I checked on how many wells we got, and you told me there's 2 wells on the north side of the treatment plant, and you told me those were monitoring wells. Are we not using those?
So we have a total of 2 wells at the wastewater treatment plant,
Right.
one on the northeast corner and one on the southwest corner.
Yeah.
The monitoring well in the northeast corner, as has been described numerous times, is not very deep. It's not deep enough to identify the condition that we're talking about. And as part of the treatment plant expansion, both that well and a new well would be drilled farther north on our property that we own farther north.
I'd like to make a motion.
Any other public comment? No. All right.
I'd like to table this till January until we continue, finish our discussion about employee exposure at the treatment plant. Hopefully we can get somewhere with that over the next 3 months before we make a decision on this. Because we're kind of talking about, what we're gonna take and what we're not gonna take. And, I don't know if somebody dumped a 55-gallon drum of red phosphorus in their septic tank and had it pumped and brought to our plant, that wouldn't be cool. And there'd really be no way of knowing it was there unless testing was being done on every sample, or sample was being done on every delivery. So we've been having this ongoing discussion about employee exposure for office staff, and I think that that should be a priority placed in front of this. So I would like to move that we table this to January and continue our discussion on employee exposure in November or December.
I say.
So we have a motion by Director Green to table this until January, and a second by Director Davis.
Director Beatty?
Sure, yes.
Director Davis?
Yes.
Director Smiley?
No.
Director Green?
Yes.
And Director Sangster?
Yes.
I got a 4-1, 0 absent.
Okay, item number 7. General Manager Employment Agreement in San Miguel Community Service District and Kelly Dogs by Resolution 2025-31.
This item was tabled from the July 24th board meeting, and then it was tabled again at the August 28th board meeting because we didn't have a complete board at that time. And at that same meeting, the original contract for the general manager, which expired on August 30th, was extended to October 1st to accommodate the new contract being discussed at this meeting. The substantive terms for the proposed employment agreement are that it is for 4 years. It has a base salary of $143,000 or $143,005.12. Should the employee receive a satisfactory review, his base salary may increase by the CPI for the period of 12 months ending in June of the preceding year. Any such salary increase would be effective September 1st of each year, and any cost of living increase would be suspended in any year in which the district projects a deficit in the annual budget, or if it is actively furloughing employees. In addition, the base salary until such time as the district fills the position of director of utilities includes those duties, and he receives, the general manager also